steep one does this. This bike was never meant to be my next bike. This is hard. Hey guys, it's Mike, the middle-aged mediocre mountain biker. Welcome back to the channel. Today's ride is bittersweet. Why? Because after 2.5 months of some of the best riding of my life. Oh yeah. Today, it's time to say goodbye. That's right, I'm breaking up with the evil. It's so hard to say goodbye to my evil bike. Now, to be fair, we were never meant to be together for life. It was always just a rebound relationship. Phew! And I've got something better in the works, but I thought I'd take her out on one last ride and bring you guys along with me. Let's go. Well guys, I can't lie. I have mixed feelings about today's ride. In only 2 months, I've shared a lot of great memories with this evil, including hitting those jumps that I just hit. But all good things must come to an end. It's been an amazing 2 months. Phew! That was a steep one. And what better way to say goodbye than to hit a couple of my favorite trails. Evolution. I also can't lie, I was very surprised how quickly I took to a 29er. Little pop. That's a steep one. And if you follow my channel at all, you saw or are seeing all of those videos from Squamish. Honestly, I'm not sure how I would have done on my trance in Squamish. Some of the stuff we rode, like entrails, all right, for sure. Lower one man's garbage. So test your braking technique. Even Rupert. 29er sure eats it all up. Let's see if I can clear this today. There we go. Gonna make my way to our send-off feature. you know, I gotta make one more great memory on this bike. All right, first, if you missed the story about this bike, you need to go back, watch this video first, and then watch this video right here. And you will learn how I acquired this Evil, thanks to Josh, Daily Mountain Bike Rider. You'll also learn a little bit about why I'm moving off this bike so soon. But just to remind you, this bike was never meant to be my next bike, but was meant to convince me that I needed a 29er, and it did its job. Whoop. So what's next, you wonder? Well, you're just gonna have to wait and find out. But it is, without a doubt, the sickest bike I have ever owned. So, what are my thoughts after riding this bike for the last 2 months? I have put it through its paces. I've ridden just about all of my favorite trails in Bellingham. Flow, jumps, tech, took it up to Squamish, 3 days, 2 nights, rode some of their slab trails, rode some of their super gnar, rode a couple of their flow trails. And let me just say, if I wanted a mid-travel 29er, this bike would be at the very top of my list. What else? Well, let me show you what else. Does this. Woo! Oh, yeah! This 29er sends. Let's go for it. All right, finishing off this trail. The bottom line, people, this Evil Offering is a sick bike. I've got absolutely no complaints. Oh, this thing is just so good. So the $1 million question, why am I getting rid of this? Because what's coming is even better. Well, folks, all good things must eventually come to an end, and it was time for me to move on to my next full-time ride. That said, I want to leave you with 3 final thoughts about the Evil Offering on things I loved and 3 things that I'd like a little bit different. First thing I loved, the bike is fast, really fast. Second thing I loved, the bike is planted. By planted, I mean I felt in control. I felt set up perfectly, centered over the bike. And even though I was taking things at higher speeds than I'm used to, as evidenced by the multiple PRs that I set during the 2 months I had it, I never felt out of control. It just felt perfect. And the third thing I loved about it, and man, this sounds a little vain, but the bike just looks sick. I got a lot of compliments. I don't know if it's the color or the frame design, but a lot of people complimented me on that Evil Offering while I had it. And I can't disagree, it does look pretty sweet. Now, with that said, there's 3, maybe 4-ish things that I'm looking for that maybe weren't perfect for me, or maybe more importantly, things that I'm gonna be looking for in my next full-time bike. First, I want more travel. Can I ride anything with this? Absolutely. Did I ride anything with this? Yes, I rode all over Squamish. More travel would definitely help me for some of the hits, some of the G-outs, some of the steep tech and drops and things that I like to do. Especially here on my local trails and places like Squamish or Whistler. I'd love to get a fork up in the 150 to 160 range and maybe even get a little more travel out of the rear, more than the 140 that the Offering has. Second thing that I'd love to be a little different, and this is very much a feel thing, but for whatever reason, even though I played a lot with the shock, the rear of the Offering never felt very plush. It felt a little bit stiff. Now, while I'm sure that helped me with climbing, and I'm sure it helped me with generating speed on the trails, I just wanted something that was a little more plush in the rear, and I never could get that dialed in. And finally, the third thing that I would love, and again, this might seem a little bit vain, but it's the geometry design. It meant there was very little space for a water bottle. Small thing, but I definitely don't want to be carrying water in a fanny pack. And it fit, but just barely, and it was a small water bottle. But even more importantly, and this is maybe the third and a half or fourth thing, is access to the shock. So when you ride here in the Northwest for 6, 7, 8 months a year, it's wet, it's muddy, and pretty much every single ride I finish, I at the very least wipe the stanchions down on my fork, on my shock. Now, accessing the shock on the Offering I found very difficult because of the way the frame is designed. Now, is that a deal breaker on my next bike? Of course not. But it is a small thing that does come into consideration. At any rate, those are just my thoughts on the Evil Offering. Overall, it accomplished its purpose, which convinced me that 29ers are where I want to be. Now stay tuned, because as you know, I love mountain biking, and even though I'm saying bye-bye to the Offering, I'll let you in on a secret. I wouldn't be saying bye to the Offering if I didn't already have the next bike ready to go. I hope you enjoyed this Evil bike as much as I did. Guarantee something even better is in the works. But until then, you know what I always say. No matter how good you are, how bad you are, if you're mediocre, no matter what kind of bike you ride, get out on those trails and have some fun. This is hard.